Shalom, my friends, and shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And how thrilled I am to be talking to a theater artist, an improv artist, a playwright, and an actor. Oh, look at that. He's already taking his bows. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Douglas Widdick. Let me tell you just a little bit about him. He's the founder of the hip-hop improv troupe called North Coast. He's an alumnus of both the Upright Citizens Brigade and the Pit. Speaking of the Pit, should have put on a little deodorant there. And he was in off-Broadway show Blank, the musical. He also runs his whole studio audio production company, as you can see there, called Sweet Tea Studio. The main reason that we have him on the show today is that this week and weekend, he's been doing an off-Broadway show, and it is called Paperclip, which Fest magazine has called charmingly sweet, a sketch show full of wit and 80s rock anthems. A British critic reviewing the show when it played the Edinburgh Fringe Festival recently said, "It's laugh out loud stuff, a joyful, bonkers musical adventure." Ladies and gentlemen, won't you welcome to the neighborhood, Doug Widdick. Shalom, Doug. How you doing? You gotta hold it. You gotta unmute yourself there. Get your talking too much. Now let's hear you.
Okay, shalom. How's it going? Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Shalom to you. Happy good shop. Do you celebrate the holidays, or are you a lesser creature and not Jewish?
I am a lesser creature, but I am from Boca Raton, Florida. So I have celebrated many a Jewish holiday, partook in many a Jewish holiday.
Which is your favorite?
Oh my gosh! Besides going to Bat and Bar mitzvahs, probably Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah is a good one. A happy New Year to you, Douglas Widdick. So let me ask you, what gave you the idea of doing a show about the beloved and behated Clippy, the Clip It paperclip from Microsoft?
Oh my God, I love that you know about Clip It. So I got the idea because it started coming up on some of the tech and business podcasts. People were talking about Clippy as the original AI. The first time the public interfaced with Clippy, I mean, any sort of machine learning was with Clippy in Microsoft Word. Now, did we know that this was actually AI at the time? Not really. And was Clippy effective? Not really. I do know some people that used Clippy, but I personally always X'd him out every single time.
Yeah, everybody X'd it. Nobody. The first time, oh, it's cute, little paperclip. Second time, oh, he's still cute. It's kind of. Third time, all right, let's get rid. And fourth time, get the fuck out of here with this thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And it always used up way too much RAM. It slowed down Microsoft Word. You were like, oh, I was just getting in the zone there. This was back when I had a PC. So it would, PC, you never knew when you were going to get the blue screen of death. And Clippy would pop up and it was just the most annoying thing. But I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. He was eager to help. It was a very optimistic AI code. Whereas so much of what we're anxious about now with AI is job loss, climate change. These are the things that people weren't thinking about at all. So I thought maybe there's something interesting to explore about this overeager paperclip, seeing if they can help with the situation we're in right now.
No, but it is kind of because just this past week, there was a car that did a wrong U-turn or something, did something illegal and so forth. And, the cop was going to stop the car and, give a ticket and then give a warning, and there was nobody in the car because it was a self-driving vehicle. And the cops ended up writing to the company and saying, this is a problem. I mean, it tried to make an illegal U-turn here. You better fix that. And the company was like, oops, we're sorry. But yeah, that's what we're all scared of. The machines are going to kill us. It's just a question of when.
Yes,
it'd be interesting
for sure.
if like all these new Clippies are sharpening themselves, and one morning we're going to wake up and they're just going to stab us to death. But why would you do a show about, what sparked you to say, I can do an evening of Clippy?
I know, right? Who am I to say that there's not more than 5 minutes of material here? So the truth is that I felt like there's a lot of parallels with the fact that Clippy was a failure with the ways that we as human beings often self-sabotage ourselves. So I thought, oh, there's a human story on top of this technological moment we have. And I think a lot about self-sabotage and what the unconscious mechanisms behind it are. So in the show, I don't only explore the fact that Clippy was a technological failure or the fact that he wants to travel back in time to kill Alan Turing, which is the plot of the show.
Oh,
But
I love it. Yes.
yes, it's fun. Hey, there's some tickets for tonight if you're around. That's the plot, but the story is about someone reckoning someone being a paperclip, reckoning with their own failure, their own self-sabotage, and trying to make good.
Are you
Little too
in your
late.
life? Would you say that you have self-sabotaged? Do you find that in yourself, or have you
Of
conquered
course.
that? Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, I think that I have distinct memories in my 20s of getting opportunities to step up to the plate and then unconscious mechanisms, whether through self-esteem or just throttling, courage, bravery, whatever you want, the hero's journey. Sometimes we step up to the plate and we cannot summon the strength. And if you keep coming up to the plate and you keep summoning the strength and you practice that muscle, you will get better at stepping up to the plate. But when you're a younger person, sometimes you don't have the tools. And so when Clippy was a younger paperclip, he failed his family. He failed being a competent chatbot. So him trying to make good in this show is a part of the human story, even though the plot is very time travel-y and silly.
Now people can see Paperclip tonight. It's at the Soho Playhouse on Van Damme Street, which is
Yeah.
there's like 1 block from the East Street East Subway on Spring Street. It's very
Could not
easy
be
to
more
get to.
convenient. Yeah.
What time is the show tonight?
The show's at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock at the Soho Playhouse. But is it a musical?
It is a musical. Yeah, there's like 18 tracks. I would say like 9 original full-length songs and 3 improvised numbers. I'm a musical improviser by trade. So right out the gate, we do a rap GPT, a snap GPT, and a lap GPT. So you can figure out what those mean.
A lap
But
GPT. All right.
yeah, it's a lap dance from Clippy, just to give the spoiler. But it's an improvised song over a kind of Genuine Pony, that song. Ride it, that pony. So it's that style of song, but it's improvised about an audience member.
I tried to sing Genuine Pony, but it left me hoarse.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you very much.
How
Let me
do we
ask you
know
though,
exactly what you're talking about?
were you trying to be back in the day like Eminem? Because A, you're white, B, you're white, and see that you're not just writing rap lyrics, but you had to go, I assume, do battles off the top of your head and do the dozens and toasters. Was that part of your thing?
Oh, well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of self-awareness around race in my rapping. And, as a member of North Coast, a hip hop improv company, and any of the rap moments in the show, of which there actually isn't that much rapping in the show. But the rap GPT does exist as a means of showing off my abilities to freestyle. The awareness that we as a white comedian need to show respect to the origins of hip hop is always something at the top of my mind. How do I do that? Through A, calling it out, self-awareness. B, being competent is actually a part of that respect, not going out charging money and then being bad at it. Like if you do a good job, that's showing respect, and then acknowledging its creators as actively as you can.
But I'm also talking about the physical act of creating rhymes on the spot, off the top of your head.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know who those people are trying to enter the waiting room for. If you want to watch the show, go on Facebook. The only person that we're talking to here is Doug Widdick in the day. But in other words, when did you realize that you had a facility not just for rhyming like a typical songwriter, but having to be like, boom,
Yeah.
improv?
Totally. I've been making up like improvised little songs my whole life. I think even since I was very young, but I didn't realize I had a strong propensity for it until I was like 15 or 16 years old at the peak of my improv obsession. This is, when I'm binging Who's Line, and then I discovered Upright Citizens Brigade. Then I discovered Baby Wants Candy, and I was done for. I said, "Oh wow, this is the top tier of this craft." How do I learn this muscle? How do I get to that level? And so I just started aggressively studying it at that point.
How do you study for? Do you just practice? I mean, what is there to study? You just have to get up and keep doing it, or you watch other people. How do you learn making
Yeah.
up stuff that
I think the
rhymes and is funny?
Totally. I think the only accurate comparison for practicing musical improv is similar to sports drills, right? So you can throw the ball over and over again, but you can never know the exact variables that are going to be happening during a given game, but you can practice throwing the ball. So, for example, you can toss me the ball by saying, all right, rap about fruits and vegetables. And I can be like, rapping on Dave's Gone By, it's embarrassing, but I'm gonna eat a vegetable, asparagus. And that's me prep. That's
That
me
didn't really
practice.
rhyme. You do realize that was not embarrassing and asparagus. They're not even.
Embarrassing, asparagus. It's a near rhyme.
Yeah.
And so if you want me to go down the barrel, I can though.
Go down the goddamn barrel. Do it. Do it. Let's see. Here we
All
go.
right, I got it. All right, for you, anything. All right, so I'm at the UN. I'm not talking about NATO, but when I'm sweet on Dave's Gone By, it's like a potato.
Yes. Now we're talking. Now we are definitely talking with Doug
Okay,
Widdick.
nice.
Oh my goodness, Potato loves this. This is a wonderful thing. Can you do a quickie about Yom Kippur or Yom
Oh my
Kippur?
God.
Feel free. You got two different options for rhymes there: Kippur or. So you got double the shots there. Go for
Is
it.
this the one with fasting?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so listen now, with the holidays, I'm smitten. For 2 days, the Jews go intermittent fasting. And you know it's so fun. He got the slippers on for Yom Kippur, son.
All right. I like the intermittent. That was an intentional elision, sort of a night. That was nice. That was good.
Thank
Good.
you.
Doug Widdick here in the Dave. So, what was your training like, college and all of that? Were you a theater kid back in the, or not at all?
Oh no, I was like a healthy mix of being very into like music and theater. So I was in bands, I played guitar, bass, drums, learned how to do all that at the same time that I said, oh boy, when I first saw a Broadway show, I knew I was kind of done for. And I went to NYU for acting. So that was really fun. I went to the Stella Adler studio through NYU. Loved that. I had a mentor, Elizabeth Swados, the late theater
Oh,
director. I'm
sure.
sure yeah, she's fantastic. And so she was someone who taught me a lot about self-scripting, devised theater. How do you take something and take an idea and then make it work for your voice, your style of creation, which was absolutely instrumental to this current atmosphere we're in, where everybody is constantly has to be their own marketer, has to be their own social media creator. So my education was a lot of NYU, where it was like the classic method acting, which was good for me because that was like taking your vitamins in terms of theater training, right? It's like, okay, we're going to talk about Stanislavski. We're going to do Chekhov, Ibsen, Strindberg. It's like, oh my God, this is like so different than the goofy person that I am. So then at night I would go do stuff at Upright Citizens Brigade. And so I didn't sleep for like 4 years, but I had a lot of fun.
Sure sounds like. So, how do you, in this day and age, in 2025, like market your show, market your studio? I mean, are you on all the social media? How do you get from 10 followers to 100 to 10, 20,000?
Yeah. Well, none of my accounts have 20,000, but I do know quite a bit about social media. I've been in the game for a hot minute. I've had some viral videos and I love creating content. And I think, it is truly a grind. It's definitely a job on top of the job, but the people who are good at it are rewarded handsomely. I watch some of the people I've come up with build these massive, massive followings. And niching down appears to be the most important thing, figuring out who your audience is and what you're delivering to them, and then blinders for everything else. It's like, okay, I do comedy about Judaism and high holidays, right? Like that could be something, or I do comedy about dogs and food, or to AI and Clippy, right? It's figuring out what you're delivering. And I feel like my niche is musical comedy. That is what I have done for a long time. I haven't niched down to like, I specifically talk about blank, but I have friends who do, who they go so niche down where they're like, yeah, I'm the comic that likes to talk about blank topic.
So let me ask you, you did Paperclip at Edinburgh, did you? Was
I
it this
did,
year or
yeah.
last year? When did you do it?
This year.
How did it go?
It was so fun. It's a one of a kind festival. You get people who just stumble into your show. They roll the dice on you. And that is so unique because the walk-in culture in New York is not as strong, in my opinion, as it used to be.
Sure.
People are very much like, what do you got? They scroll through and they're like, does this look good? And then they walk in. But in Edinburgh, everyone is in person, physically flyering shows. So you find out about something and you go, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, and you're the writer? Well, should we try it? And then you walk in and you watch that person's show, and it might be terrible. But the culture is that everything's under an hour. So you give it an hour and then you go and you move on
Yeah.
with your day.
Now,
Where
were you able to, because we've had a few different Edinburgh Festival people on the program in the past couple of months, were you able to see other performances there, or did you have to just flyer every minute that you weren't doing your own show?
So I had gone as an audience member before, and I really enjoyed the audience experience at Fringe and made sure to go out of my way to see shows. So I probably saw like 20 to 22 shows while I was there.
So they spent 22 hours in the theater during the festival. My goodness.
Oh, that's on the low end. I have friends who saw over 100.
So what was the best thing you saw that wasn't yours?
Oh, geez. I really loved Julia Masley. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 is the name of her show. And it's a clown
Sounds funny.
show
Yeah.
where she solves the audience's problems. And it was so poignant, beautiful. And you just don't forget moments like that, the true shared collective in the space. And she is a good shepherd of emotions. And so we would like 1 second, the whole audience would be crying. And then like 1 minute later, huge rolling laughter, and she was really good at shepherding us from each moment to the next.
And it's because I've been working on a show called Oi 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 Oi, and it's just
Wow.
it kind of makes the audience angry 1 minute and then hate me the next. It's a very powerful piece of work right there. Speaking
Nice.
of a powerful piece of work, don't forget that tonight, your last opportunity to see Paperclip at the Soho Playhouse featuring our new friend, Doug Widdick. Let me ask you a little bit more about you, though.
Yeah.
One of the other things that is pretty obvious if they look at you at social media, you're really big into Scotty dogs. What's the deal with this?
Oh my God, I love you.
Thank you.
So I love Scottish Terriers. I've had them my whole life. I've had them since I was 4 years old. And I don't know about you, but once you get into a certain breed of dog, it's like imprinted in your heart that that's what you love. That's the kind you like. Now, since then, I've begun fostering dogs. And so I do now find new space in my heart for all sorts of breeds, especially from Korean Canine, which is an amazing shelter in the city.
Korean canine? Was it save them from the kitchen?
It does save them from the meat trade in Korea.
Whoa, I was joking. Oh my
And
goodness.
the high kill shelters. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that meat trade is ending within the next year or two. It's finally being ended, but and they save dogs from high kill shelters in the meat trade in
And then-
Korea, and they fly them over. They have it's a non-for-profit organization, and it's just they do unbelievable work. But people like me and my wife, we will foster until they get adopted. So that's been really special.
But you've never woken up one morning, there's a dog licking your face, and you look at him and say, you would be good on a skewer. This never feels.
The horror.
No, I
No, I know. It's fine. There's no topic off limits for me. But yeah. So Scotty dogs, I'm just obsessed. I think it must be, it's also with the Edinburgh Fringe obsession too. I think there's something in the Scottish spirit that is very independent, that is very brave. Like you look into a Scotty dog's eyes, and they would fight to the death for you. And I've watched her. I've watched her defend me. And it's so silly, right? Am I projecting? I'm probably dramatically projecting onto the dog, but they were known as the diehard breed back in their true day as like a working dog, because they would fight rodents, anything that was in a hole that was like vermin. They were meant to fight vermin. They'd fight it to the death. They had no problem fighting.
It's that terrier spirit, and the terriers are like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're little murderers. And are the ones we had in Florida growing up would kill vermin and bring it to the front door.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
I used
that
to do that for a
hardwired.
girl I was dating, and she was not impressed.
And that's why she's my ex.
Speaking of non-exes, how did you meet her? You mentioned you're married, Mazel Tov. How many
Yeah.
years? How long, etc., and so forth.
I've only been married for 4 months.
Oh, mit Mazel McClick, a newlywed person. How did you meet her?
We met on the internet. We met on the app called Hinge, and it's so funny. We had all these mutual friends. We were even at NYU at the same time, but we hadn't met until we were in our 30s. And she's just the dreamiest, best person on the planet. I just adore her. Her name's Lisa, and we got married at Cafe Spaghetti in Brooklyn, and of course, as one does.
After you started noodling around with her. Yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
so is she a show busy person too, or completely out of the? What does she do?
Yeah, she is, but she's in advertising side. So she works for a Broadway advertising company.
Oh, very nice. Serena coin. No, I don't know. I don't know.
She give I could RPM. So she does a lot of like valuable feedback for me on my optics. She'll be like, that's just not strong, and here's why. And I'll be like, oh wow, like I didn't think of it from the side that you would be critiquing things on as an ad agent. So she's a vice president there. So she is very effective at like telling me what works and making sure I don't make like common pitfalls.
Oh, so what is something that she recommended that you do or not do when you put together Paperclip and started to bring it to the Fringe and now bringing it to the Soho Playhouse? What were some of
Yeah.
her notes, if you will?
Yeah, just like making sure your photographer gets your skin tone in a way that works with the colors that you're going to be bringing in later. So like there was some issues with that, and then also making sure that like just like God, it was all so granular, but it was just you really want that strong eye-catching image where the image appears to be in motion in some ways. You don't want an image without a sort of, what do they call it, a gesture to it. You want it to really feel like it's popping out of the poster, and then all the proper retouching and all that stuff, and making sure I didn't skimp on the fonts. Oh, that font, no, you can do better. And then here's something she really gets on me about, and it's very good feedback, is she always makes sure I'm using the brand kit for all additional social so that the branding is consistent at all times.
Right, yeah. Okay, I get that. I mean, it seems like so antithetical to the creativity of like, I don't want to worry about fonts, but at the same time, you have to. It's kind of that extra little step that shows the audience you're taking care with every single aspect of what you do. Speaking of which, this is your last night of Paperclip. So are you bringing it somewhere else? Are you working on another piece? What are you doing?
Right now, there's no plans to take it anywhere or produce it anywhere that I know of. I mean, if there are theaters or institutions that would love to have me, I'd be open to doing it. But Edinburgh Fringe and Soho Playhouse was a heavy lift, and I feel like what'll be nice for me to do now is focus on writing new material, creating new characters, creating new songs, exploring new subjects and themes, while also focusing on growing and building my studio, which has been becoming it's becoming the apex of Brooklyn podcasting. So
My
that's been
good.
really
It's called
fun.
Sweet Tea, sweet like SUITE, Sweet Tea Studio. So, what makes your microphones, your setup, your thing, the apex for local pod, or not local, but New York podcasting?
Yeah, so we have a really great hybrid live stream setup where all the cameras are hardwired via SDI so that it all can be delivered same day. A lot of studios take a long time with file transfers and converting and all that stuff. So you can get all your high quality 4K files within an hour's notice right after the shoot. I have an Avalon mic pre, which is like studio grade that you might find at like Abbey Road or something for the lead mic. We have AD converters that are all industry standard, beautiful lighting that's soft instead of harsh lighting, and all that stuff combined helps level up any production so that you can focus on being the podcaster and I can help you look and sound your best.
Wow. And by the way, I've got to say that the setup, that's probably just your home where you
This
are
is
right
my
now.
apartment. My in-laws are on their way to see Paperclip. That's why I'm home right now.
Oh, but Muslim like that. So, but I love the lighting in your. I mean, it's just a lovely little room, and it's just a perfect, gentle glow with the microphone. The microphone sounds great. The headphone, I mean, you can tell that you're taking care with what you do and how you do it, professionally and also creatively, which is a
I
great thing.
appreciate that.
So let me also ask you, though. One of the things that was on your resume is that you do an impression or two.
Mhm.
Most notably, like a lot of people, not so much anymore, but years ago, everybody did a Marlon Brando impression,
Yeah.
especially when he was in the Godfather thing. But
Right,
what's
right.
yours? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the Godfather impression a little bit. A little bit of Marlon Brando. You come into my house with a Scottish Terrier and you don't let me give it a kiss on the cheek.
Bravo, bravo. I mean,
Thank you.
that's good. That's who else do you do, if anybody?
I don't do that many anymore. I used to do a Rosie O'Donnell, but to be honest, it sounded more like Regis Philbin. It would be like, we got Dougie Widick on the show. But, my voice got lower since then, so I don't really do it as well.
Fair enough. So let me also, by the way, we're talking with Doug Widdick. He is the owner and operator of Sweet Tea Studios out in Brooklyn. So if you want podcasting to do you record bands and music, or this is just for podcasting?
I record bands and music. I have two great artists that are currently on my slate. Actually, three. I have Taylor Janney Roven, Xavier A, and also Mudiam Chowdhury. And all three of them are making their albums with me right now.
Oh, mit Mazel Glick. This is so really have a great space to do things. Plus,
Yeah.
obviously, he's doing Paperclip at the Soho Playhouse, which you have one more chance to catch tonight at 7 o'clock. So let me ask you, where do you see your energies being in like 10, 15 years? Like, will it be mainly studio? Will it be mainly performing, writing? Will it be perhaps something else, traveling? Where do you see yourself down the road?
I really see myself as a creator. I really see myself as someone that wants to write and produce and star in my own work, particularly comedy, but any genre, but mostly comedy and musical comedy. A dream of mine would be to write a musical comedy for Broadway. I
Have
think that
you
would be a lifelong goal.
have you ever tried? Have you even in class back at Tisch, or you just this would be a
This
new?
is the start of a longer form approach. Everything I've done so far has been very sketch. I've worked on a two-man musical called Toxic Masculinity, the musical, with my buddy Ken. That we did the hour-long version and then COVID hit and we sort of just kind of lost the momentum there. We even had a general manager from Broadway like looking at it and trying to help us capitalize it. So Paperclip is me getting back on the horse in terms of that approach.
Now, last question for Doug Widdick in terms of let's go back to hip hop because that
Okay.
has been your specialty in short form but well, not even hip hop, but improv because not everything that was done at the Pit and UCB was it was also just sketches and things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
besides the classic yes and
Oh yeah.
what else should people keep in mind if they're trying to do sketch comedy? If they're trying to do improvised material, comedy and otherwise.
Yeah, improv is a very mindful based art form. If you are present with the present moment, you will become more aware of unusual things as they occur in an improv scene, and you'll be more aware as they occur in your day to day life. So, if you are present with the present moment, it will help you and aid you as a comedian because you'll notice the inconsistencies around us all the time.
So, did you have any idols or icons, either as comedians or as theater people or hip hop? Who did you look to when you were in your teens, 20s, whatever, and go like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh my gosh. Well, geez, I really was obsessed with Amy Poehler for the longest time and still am. And it was why I did my training at Upright Citizens Brigade so intently. And I really look up to still this day the Improvised Shakespeare Company, Blaine Swen's company.
no, they're not the folks who did Abridged, right? That's a whole different.
That's
Improv
different.
Shakespeare
Yeah.
is what is that? What did they do?
They're based out of Chicago. Their leader now lives in Nashville, but they are mostly live in Los Angeles, and they are probably pound for pound, I think, the strongest improv company probably in the world. They even put some of their specials up on Dropout, and watching them work to me is a masterclass in the improvisational form. It is just, there's just nothing better in my opinion.
And are they doing it in like Shakespearean kind of talk and forsooth and rhyme when they can, all of that,
Yeah.
as well as creating a whole story and so on and so forth?
Yeah, all the thee, thou, thines, and all the metaphors they can pack into a show. It's really special. And they get Patrick Stewart to sit in. They get Jason Alexander to sit in. If you're ever in Los Angeles and you can catch a ticket, book.
Well, you don't have to be in Los Angeles tonight, though. 7 o'clock tonight, you should book Paperclip at the Soho Playhouse, written by, created by, sometimes part of it done on the fly by Doug Widdick, our new friend in the neighborhood. Doug, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I wish you much success with this show and all your projects. And just most happy, even though you don't celebrate, Happy New Year. And you did get the fasting part right of Yom Kippur. Good for you! Now next look up Tu B'Shvat. I'll be quizzing you about that next time. Tu B'Shvat, look it up. Anywho, Doug Widdick, thank you so much, and shalom to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.